Hi everyone. You guys want to
Hi,
come on camera?
you guys want to come on camera? You guys want to come on camera?
Is there an echo?
Echo?
Hi everyone. Thank you for coming to this meeting. This is 5:09. Oh, actually, maybe I should record this. Hold on. The recording. Oh, I guess it's recording automatically. Um, so yes, and by the way, Yushena, thank you so much for the information you sent on the Next Stop Riggs Park. That was awesome. So I hope you don't mind if I'm just going to read it. Um, so Robert Oliver passed along a presentation that Office of Planning Associate Director Ryan Hand gave to the North Michigan Park Civic Association about draft changes to the future land use map FLUM. These draft changes are just one step in Office of Planning Comprehensive Plan rewrite, which Office of Planning is called DC 2050. Um, so there is a tiny section of North Michigan Park, which is from Galloway to Emerson, between South Dakota and 6th, that the Office of Planning wants to change from small scale residential to moderate scale residential. Um, so the intent of this change is to possibly make way for small apartments or accessory dwelling units, though ADUs are already permissible. Mr. Hand echoed that rationale, stating that Office of Planning sought to upflum areas near Metro Rail. Yeah, like we have a little bit more concentration of housing near Metro Rail and high frequency bus corridors, and also areas that have not grown as much over the past 20 years. You can all hear me, right? This is Yushena's analysis, and I really appreciate it. Um, at the same time, Mr. Hand noted that Office of Planning also wants to be cautious about making changes to areas too quickly that are at high risk of displacement. Mr. Hand acknowledges concerns from residents that this change could incentivize developers to try to buy out homeowners to tear down existing semi-detached homes and build multifamily buildings in their place. In response, a resident who brought up the explosive growth in Columbia Heights, Mr. Hand stated that the development that took place in Columbia Heights was a different situation at a unique moment in the city's history. So Office of Planning does not seem too concerned about something similar happening in North Michigan Park or nearby. I noted in a previous post that I do not quite understand why Office of Planning is drawing the map the way they are. This meeting with Mr. Hand did provide confirmation that it really is kind of random. Office of Planning is targeting areas near Metro Rail, hence the change to this small section of North Michigan Park. On the Ward 4 side, Office of Planning selected areas around Riggs Road to increase density because they are along a high frequency bus corridor. Um, Ishetta continues, it is puzzling that Office of Planning chose not to account for sale and rental housing that can be built in areas identified as in institutional areas on the future land use map. As it stands, the amount of housing that Office of Planning is saying can be built in areas with existing occupied semi-detached homes is a bit of a fiction, whereas there can be real numbers attached to institutional areas with vacant land on the map. Also, while I get the move to the new place types concept, I do think there's a bit of worthwhile distinction lost when one lumps semi-detached and row homes with apartment buildings in one category. So, thank you very much, Yushena, for your analysis. I really appreciate it. What do folks think that they're just planning on increasing, possibly increasing density or allowing increased density in this area. So, what do folks think? Again, this is for 2050, but between now and 2050.
I'm happy to jump in real quick.
Mhm.
Hi, I'm Connor Brown. Um, as like a budget and urban planner person, um, it really is kind of just a fiction that this would actually result in the number of houses that they say it will, because unless drastic things change in the economy, there are no projects that would ever pencil out to change any of the row homes to apartment buildings. So it's like, I don't really understand the reason for them doing that and leaving alone all of the industrial sites and, I mean, even places along South Dakota Avenue, like the retail plaza or the gas stations. Because realistically, I mean, what maybe there's little pieces of people's side yards that happened in Noma, where people
What
had like
happened?
big side yards and they sold those for townhomes. Um, but it was really very few on the in the section of Noma that I lived. I mean, I guess it's not really Noma, near Northeast, that I used to live in back when they had explosive growth. I think there were two people who sold like their big side yards for a 2 or 3 unit condo building. Um, so maybe, but like it just, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Other thoughts? Bill, I know you don't like having four stories, it impedes the view of the neighbors, right? Anyone want to jump in?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm having a hard time with this. Your Zoom is different. I'm old. Remember, I'm 81 years old. And what is this? This is in 5 months. Okay, so I'm kind of slow. Here's the
Hmm.
deal. This is my. I'm not in your SMD, but Connor, I really appreciate what you just said. You don't know. You really answered a bunch of questions for me. Anyway, here are my thoughts. I don't know how. Some kind of way we got to get our neighbors to wake up because as if you look at Kennedy Street, Brooklyn, how what they have done over there, H Street, Northeast, 14th Street from Belmont all the way down to the Circle, what they did and that Noma section blew up overnight. I've been in Washington D.C. since 19. Well, I've been 19 since 1945, but I've been in North Michigan Park over here since 1957. And I've been watching this thing. This is to me, this is a way for them to they talk 2050 to throw us off like we got nothing to worry about. They want to do what they did in Noma over here, what they did on Kennedy Street over here. I have a question about the location. Now they said from Gallatin Street over to North Capitol Street, and then going back over to Emerson. Where what's going to y'all don't remember. There's a big radio tower up there. There used to be that street that runs next from the metro station. There's a big empty lot there. Who owns that lot? Is that city land? If it's city land, they're gonna put something there. If it's not, I'm not sure if it's city land or federal land, because what they're describing sounds like that's the spot
You mean
up
next
there.
to First Street, right, as you're like driving
I
away
don't
from
know
the
the number.
show?
I don't. You say
Yeah.
you walk up Gallatin or whatever, going to the metro,
Mhm.
and then when you go under the tracks,
And keep going past the parking lot, right?
there's a big empty field, right?
Over there on the left, right?
On the right. No, going up the hill on the right.
Oh,
There's a big empty field with a path where people who come up from the other side of the metro to us. Okay. Then you say all the way over to Riggs Road.
I'm picturing it's on the left as you're like driving away from the metro towards Riggs Riggs Road.
See, that's the problem. I need a map. I need a map because you're not following me. Okay, we leave South Dakota Avenue, walk up the hill to the metro station. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
you hit the buses make a curve to go out to Riggs Road. On the right hand side, there used to be the park police had an office there. WOL Radio used to have a thing that's with Tina Rama,
And
the black,
there's a
yeah,
church.
half, yeah. There was a union had a thing up there. The park police had their office up there. There was a black radio station called WOL that had Tina Rama, which was the first black American bandstand in the country. That was there. The tower is still sticking up in the air up there. Then
The
you follow
church,
that street.
the
And
church is
there's a
on the
church.
right.
And there's a church. No. That's the church is up further up the hill, on up the hill, just before you get to the church. Now, who owns that land? That's this sounds like that whole spot from the church, which is further next block up, and that big empty lot. Who owns that big lot?
Well, the lot is a parking lot for, I mean, there's a okay,
No,
there,
no,
I
no, 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 no,
understand there's
no.
some in
Continue. No, no,
between the
no.
parking
Continue.
lot and then
We need a map. We need a map. No, if you continue on, then, no, you're not following me. The church is that what is that? Is that North Capitol? That's not North Capitol. What's that street up there where the church is? And one side is the church, the other side is the church's old folks' home. Not an old folks' home. That's their property. They built that senior citizen building there. Are you following me? And there's a school up there. What are they going to do? Tear the school down? I wouldn't be
Oh,
surprised.
are you talking
Huh?
about the Impact Church?
Impact DMV Church. Okay, there Riggs, that's Riggs Road there.
The church where the pastor died recently, who was a big guy in
Oh, you're
brown
talking
shirt.
about Plymouth
Plymouth.
congregation, Plymouth.
Right. So they're
Yeah.
not going to get rid of that. That's for sure. But the land, okay, the tracks, Gallatin, the tracks. You go all the way up and you can't go no further because there's a big empty lot there, right?
I'm bringing up maps here. Hold on.
Y'all riding cars. Y'all don't ride, y'all don't walk. Y'all don't know what I'm talking about. Sheena, you know what I'm talking about? Hello?
You, Shanna, are you
Oh,
able to come off mute?
don't, she don't want to respond. Okay, no problem.
All right, I'm bringing up maps here. Hold on. Let's see. All right. You see, okay. All right, you see the map? You see the map? Bill? Can't hear you if you're talking. Anyway, this here is not part of 5A09, okay? Um, I think this is the church we're talking about, Plymouth Congregational United Church of Christ. Okay. Anyway, that's not in the area that we're really talking about right now. But we're talking about the area down here, right here. Okay, anyone else wanna jump in? Thank you, Shanna, for posting that on the chat. Let me bring that up here. Oops. Okay. Can you guys see this?
I can.
Okay.
Yes, I can see it.
All right, Mr. Oliver, we just before you jumped on, we were reading Yushena's summary, and you had provided information, and we shared what she had written on Next Stop Riggs Park. So do you have any comments you want to make on the proposed increased density?
Well, no, other than the fact that I think that it's something that we need to watch and follow because, wait, hang on, Chloe. I'm on the phone. Give me a second.
Mm-hmm.
I'll get back to you, Chloe. Give me a second. Yeah, let me go outside. um, Only thing I'm concerned about is that how this is going to play out in the next few years because there are several options. One is that speculators could come in and start talking to people, or they do. Two, depending upon how things are priced, you can say, let's say we build a 4-bedroom apartment building, 4-unit rather. Well, that thing
Mm-hmm.
might cost a couple $1 million to construct. And would
Mm-hmm.
that, as an entity, push up the average price of the homes here, such that homes are going down, let's say for 400,000, you put something like that in, and that may push it up to, I don't know, 800,000, a million, what have you. And the more you put in, that kind of sets the rate that housing would go for. So those are the type of things that we need to look at, in my opinion.
Okay, I mean that's true, and increasing the amount of housing also acts to keep prices down somewhat for, for the existing housing that might be smaller. Um, so it sort of has two different effects. Let's see.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way to predict what the future holds, but I think it's incumbent upon the ANC and the ANC as a whole to keep us informed of what they know. Obviously, you're not going to be get everything that we
Mm-hmm.
probably need to know in this community, but for those things that you do get, like the notice of intention and other documentation that needs to go out to the community as soon as possible. So definitely, someone needs to man the mailbox and man the your website to make sure that that information is available to us
Mm-hmm.
as your community members.
Yep. Yep.
And that's it for me.
Okay. Shanna or Deborah?
Nothing for me. Deborah, nothing from Deborah.
Okay. All right.
Nothing for never either.
Go ahead, Chloe.
Talking is so close. Oh, oh. May I say something?
Absolutely. Go ahead.
The community better be alert and speak up, organize, set up a task force to keep their eye on this thing. The, the new phrase they're playing with that everybody's kind of overlooking is this ADU, additional dwelling unit. I got one of them. Well, anyway, yeah, the additional dwelling unit.
I think it's
That's part of the
accessory
game. That's part of the
accessory
game.
accessory dwelling unit, but yeah, it's like a
That's part of the
in-law
game.
apartment. Yeah.
That's, now the question is, I was just in what's her name? Emily's SMD meeting last week,
Mm-hmm.
and the community stopped this developer from making 4 stories.
Did
Uh, huh?
they did? Okay.
They
What
stopped.
was it
They
on
stopped it
Buchanan or something? What's
because they were there and they spoke up. There were people who, now, like I said, I've been out here since 1957.
mm-hmm.
Now, I understand that people say change is great, but what I heard during that meeting was there were some people who were just here who just moved in 6 months ago, 1 year ago, 2 years ago, And they were upset because the reason they came over here is because the way the neighborhood looks now, two-story buildings,
Mm-hmm.
little family homes. They did not want the mushrooms sticking up in the air like on Brooklyn, like in, I keep saying this over again, they come in, y'all, and if you don't want it, if you don't want your neighborhood to change like Brooklyn, 14th Street, 8th Street, Kennedy Street, if you don't want it, you better be on top of this and speak up and show up in numbers and push them back. Thank God, Brooklyn, thank God, the people over there on Buchanan were at that meeting and they said they were saying the same thing I'm saying, I've been saying for years. And they did not want this guy to do what he wanted to do. To go up, they did not want that. They did not want that. Of course, when they moved into a house, they came here and they saw they could see the sunset, they could see the sky, and then somebody throw something in front of their house, block their view.
Yeah.
They bought the house because of what they saw when they came, and now this guy, and that's what this. See, we went through this some years ago when they had this flume stuff or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Shania can attest to this. It was at the Luke Moore School,
Luke,
and
C- Luke,
huh?
Luke C. Moore. Was that what you
Yeah,
mean, the Kirkland?
it was about 10 years or more ago at Luke Moore School. And what they do, I'm so sick of the city. What they did was they came at the last minute and said, you got 2 weeks to get your comments in. They did it again this time. They
Mm-hmm.
did it again. But they extended the date back 10, 15 years ago because the ANC citywide, because they do this all over, citywide spoke up. Now, if you remember when this guy, Mr. Hand, came to the meeting the other day and he started talking that junk, he made it sound like, oh, it's no, it's going to be easy. You can, we might change the due date and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
You don't believe that?
and the timing, the timing is really interesting. It's
Yeah.
election, nobody's watching. They're counting on it. They're counting on nobody watching. It's going to be summertime and everybody's going to be asleep.
All right, let's give somebody else. All right, let's see. Tom or Minnie, do you have any thoughts about potentially expanding the like density of this neighborhood?
No, I don't actually know what to think yet. So I just wanted to attend the meeting to see if I could
Mhm.
get more information and see what we do know. I think the idea of just keeping vigilant is a good idea. So yeah,
Yeah.
nothing to add.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I guess, it might be possible to add a floor, but I can understand the concern that that might be, unsightly and block views. So you could see how, some people might want to make their house taller or add like, an accessory dwelling unit in their backyard, but that could impact the neighbors. So just wanted to get people's opinions and see what folks think.
Well, Sheila, let me jump in for a second.
Mm-hmm.
What are your takeaways from this meeting? What do you plan to do? What does the ANC plan to do? And also recognize that you do have talent in this neighborhood who can help you with some of these decisions, or at least maybe do some research or legwork for you. So, where do we go from here?
I mean, I'm not getting a really strong sense of, oh my God, no, from this group. But I mean, I understand Bill doesn't like it. Um, but we're gonna have a ANC 5A meeting next week, and possibly have a resolution against it, I guess. But I don't know. I feel like I don't know. That's why I'm trying to get you guys' opinions about what,
I have a question. You said there's
mhm.
going to be an AFC meeting next week, and this item is on the agenda because y'all didn't have a executive meeting yesterday. So,
Correct.
so this item is on the agenda for next week.
As far as I know, yes.
And you're going to do a resolution?
I don't know. I mean, I, I'm
What is the
I wanted to
resolution?
get
What does the draft resolution say?
We don't have any draft resolution, okay? I just know that there's some folks who do express their opinions say that they think it's a bad idea, but I'm not getting that vibe from everybody. And um let's see, fourth. Oh yeah, sorry, not next week. You're right, Yushana. It's the following Wednesday. Yeah, and I mean, Mr. Hand said have your meeting and it's fine to present your opinion as the ANC 5A um after that meeting. So, um
Well, I was going to say at this point in time, it's
mhm,
really too early to take a definitive stand. Yes, you can
mhm,
say you don't like it based upon what you've seen happen in other neighborhoods. That may
mhm,
happen to us. It may not happen to us. But I think that whichever way the community goes, the best thing to do is be vigilant and basically bone up on the city law as to if this thing has to go before your council member, that you speak specifically as to those items which you can, as a neighbor, address. It'll be zoning issues and other type issues, but everyone gets more out of the conversation if both sides have a clear understanding of what's being communicated and not saying, as I don't like it because of blah blah blah, because that only goes so far.
mhm,
I can have a suggestion.
mhm,
Get a good map made up of the area that they're talking about, so,
mhm.
and then pass it out to all the neighbors in the SMD.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
it's
Well,
not
I
it
just
might
the
think,
be
map.
cheaper to put that map on the website, and then for
Mhm.
those who really need it at the SMD meeting, they can probably have what 50 copies or so. That might be a little bit less cost prohibitive.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean,
It's not
that's,
just the map, it's like the explanation of what they're proposing, and there's
Yes.
really a real solid proposal. It's just saying, you could expand the density. Okay, go ahead, Connor.
yeah, I mean, that's also the tricky thing about if there is a resolution is like there's very few people who actually participate in these calls. Like this is my first
Hmm.
one because I'm usually working during all of the ANC meetings.
Hmm.
Um, so that it's hard to, even if there was a consensus among people on this call, to then say like that's actually the ANC, the people of the ANC's consensus, if that
And
makes
by the way,
sense.
Connor, do you live in ANC 5A09?
I do, yeah. I
Okay.
actually live 2 doors down from Robert.
Oh, okay. Um,
Oh yeah. Okay, now to recognize your voice.
so wait, is that in what are you on, Emerson or what
Yeah,
Emerson, yes.
on the
okay.
north side of Emerson.
Okay. Cool. Close, like the side closer to the metro station.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, because I'm not running again for this position, so there's going to be a vacancy, or not a vacancy, but an opportunity for anyone to from 5A09 who wants to run for commissioner, you know, just FYI. So
Please, listen. I just yesterday I talked to Miss Scott, Betty Scott. Do you know Miss Betty Scott? Oliver knows
mm,
Betty Scott. She's been around forever.
mhm,
She every time I see her, she says, "What's Bill? What's going on in the community?" She doesn't have the internet. There are
mhm,
so many seniors who are not online. They do not know. They cannot. They're out of the loop. And some of them, I've got neighbors right now. They will come to a face to face. They do not do Zoom.
mhm,
You got a whole lot of people who don't do Zoom
yeah,
who have expertise like Connor. They've got institutions here. They go back further than Connor with their. I know there's some building people. In fact, another thing too, by the way, this may be a resource. Your fellow commissioner, Tim Thomas, works for the Office of Planning, so he may be helpful.
okay.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah, no, I mean it's just hard to say what we're gonna do. Like, are we gonna come up with a resolution? Like, what would we even say? And yeah, like there's not that many people on the call. We don't have a clear proposal of, you know, yeah. So yeah, we just have to stay on top of, seeing what is being proposed throughout the next couple decades, and if it seems to be something objectionable or unsightly to jump on it and say, no, we don't want it. It's just a lot of paying attention that needs to take place.
Yeah. And
Um,
individual people submitting their comments as well, like on your behalf, just
mhm.
going on. I know they have it on the website, but I'm sure they have other forums where you can give like individual feedback as well.
Mhm.
Um, but I know I've done that. Um, it's just filling out the survey. I don't know if they care about that or listen to that, but
Yeah. Yeah, looking at Yushana's comments, we should do a resolution. Otherwise we're gonna get far down the line and people are going to complain and say they didn't know a thing and didn't have a chance to comment. Um, Sorry for, not being as forceful or knowledgeable, but I appreciate people's expertise. So that's why I'm asking for folks' opinions and thoughts, and I appreciate you, Shanna. So um, so yeah, I don't know. Do you guys want to like send me like anything in writing that you want me to bring to the next ANC meeting, which is going to be the fourth Wednesday of May? Um, so, yeah.
Again, hello. You
Mm-hmm.
represent 2,000 people. There are eight of us in here. How can you write
Mm-hmm.
a resolution? You represent 2,000 people. There are eight of us in this chat,
Mm-hmm.
including you. How can you possibly make and say anything to the ANC if nobody knows what's going on?
Yeah.
I don't. I go to all the meetings, and I'm not. I am not clear about what area they're talking about.
You're not clear about what area they're talking about?
I am
Uh,
not clear. I need to see a map.
Okay, did you see the map, what I was just showing?
I
Okay,
can't. I'm on a cell phone, a little teeny cell
oh,
phone. I can't make. I can't read. My eyes are bad. I can't see that thing. This is what.
okay.
This is what I'm saying. You know what I mean?
All
If I
right.
could see a map, but what I'm visualizing in my head, an area that I can't get clarity on, and
Well, okay,
it's
okay, let
it's
me
not it's
say.
not it's not a good it's not a good I can't it's not off the top of my head. It's not a good area for what they want to do.
Okay,
What
I'm
they
gonna
describe
I'm
they
gonna
want to do.
share my screen again. Hold on a second.
I can't
Um,
see it.
I know, but I'm
I
gonna
need eight and a half by
describe it
I
to
need eight
you.
and a half by 11. I need 8.5 by 11.
Okay, you come by in a little bit and I'll print it out for you, okay? All right, but for other people, can you guys see the map that I'm sharing right now?
But what about the other 2,000 people? I mean, minus
Okay,
eight.
okay. Yes, I hear you. I'm not gonna print out 2,000 copies of this, but um this right here is part of 5809. That is what we're talking about. I understand there's another thing you want to talk about, Bill, and that's fine, and I'll talk about that in 1 second. But this right here, okay, this is the infamous place where you have a path, and that's another thing I know we need to talk about. But anyway, you see this.
That's what's confused me. They talk about
Hmm.
the path, but
Hmm.
that's federal land. So that's what's throwing me off.
Hmm. But
Which
anyway, you
which
see.
and which path? Because see, there's two paths.
Okay,
There's a
can you
path on
can you
out.
see anything? Can you see anything right now on your screen, Bill?
All I see is colors. No street
Okay.
names, no nothing.
Do you see a green thing going left to right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's the woods that when you walk from Gallatin to Galloway, you walk
Mm-hmm.
through that woods right there. Now can you picture it?
Mm-hmm. What's the
Okay.
orange?
That is
What the,
Gallatin, Farragut, Faraday, Emerson. And
that's the
then
area.
six,
That's the
yeah.
area they say. That's the area that they talking about.
Yes, because that's part of 5A09 that is being talked about. That's why we're having this particular meeting. So they're saying some of this we would consider possibly allowing increased density. That's what they're talking about. Gallatin, Farragut, Faraday, Emerson, Sixth
And
Place.
the only way they can increase density is to increase the height of the property. Am I correct?
Well, you could also possibly knock down two neighboring houses and maybe build it out into the backyard a little bit more or something like that. But
Again,
yeah,
I did a video. I suggest you go up to Kennedy Street and walk down Kennedy Street and look. I suggest you go up 12th Street between Monroe and Quincy and look.
okay.
They can make they can make 8 condos out of your house,
Yeah.
Sheila. They
Mm-hmm.
did that. They're doing that.
Yeah, I know. I've seen
That's what
places
they're
that
talking about.
it
That's what
used to
they're
be
talking
it
about.
used to be a single family house and they made it into like 4 apartments. Like they did that
No, no,
all
no, no, no,
over.
no, no, no.
Yeah.
Eight,
Really?
eight,
Yeah.
8 of
Well,
Wow.
them.
that's denser than what they're
Hmm.
trying to do here, right? That's a
Yeah.
higher level of
We don't
density.
know right now. And have you ever seen one of? I'm sitting in my living room looking out my picture window. I got a
Mhm.
guy. He pulled a fast one on the ANC and on the community. He's got just 3 stories on his house.
Hmm.
You should. I live at 744 Delafield. Take all y'all drivers, drive your little car over here and look at this house in front of 744 Delafield. That's my house. And this house is on the corner. That's 3 stories. Now, then go back, then visualize another story on top of that.
Okay.
Okay? And
Okay.
that's all I want you to do.
Okay. Go ahead,
I
Yushima.
can't visualize the map, and people can't visualize 3 or 4 stories up in the air. So 3 stories is too much.
Yeah.
That destroys the character of the neighborhood. I live in 744 Delafield. Get in your car, get on your bike, Eugenia, ride over here and look what they want to do to the community.
Why am I being brought up when I'm the one who's actually writing anything about what's happening? I walk in this neighborhood. I bike in the neighborhood. I know what
Oh,
you're
okay.
talking
I'm
about,
just saying.
Bill.
Okay, I'm sorry. I
I'm
apologize.
confused why my name is being brought up. And furthermore, this is the whole point. Now is the time for people to comment. I'm off camera and I wasn't saying anything because I've been out sick for 2 days. Now is the time. People keep saying, oh, Office of Planning, this, they're literally giving you the chance to comment right now. And they've even told the ANC, you guys get extra time because we know you don't have your meeting till the end of the month. So it is not hard. I've written about this 2 or 3 times. If people don't like it, Bill, then you need to tell Office of Planning. Sitting in a meeting saying the same thing over and over again, we are not the decision makers. You all
Oh,
need to be saying this to Office of Planning. Email your chair, email the chair, and tell them that you want the ANC to write a resolution, at least laying out concerns. I mean, I don't understand what people are waiting for. They've literally said they are doing this because once these homes reach the end of their life, as they say, then yes, the expectation is that they can be knocked down and a small apartment can be built. They've told you all this now 2 times,
Mm-hmm.
more than 2 times, in fact, and people are still saying, "Well, we don't know." Like, what do you all want? And I'm sorry to be sound so annoyed, but I am annoyed because I've literally put in 2 or 3 posts now. Exact Office of Planning is not hiding anything.
Yeah.
They've told you what they want to happen. And if you guys don't like it, now's the time to tell your ANC we don't like it. And the ANC gets great weight. That doesn't mean Office of Planning has to do what the ANC says. They just say, okay, what the ANC
Right.
said was persuasive or not. One of the reasons they don't think this will turn into Columbia Heights is because these lots, especially on Gallatin Street, those are small homes. So it's
Mm-hmm.
not like they can, just tear out one side and build up, a
You
four-story
kind of need to
condo
get
building.
two. adjacent town.
They've done it. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all. They
No,
did it.
Bill, you're not listening. So please stop yelling at me. My point,
I'm
I'm
sorry.
telling you what Mr. Hand is saying. If you look at certain streets where they knock out one row home, for example, it is wide enough to put up a 4-story condo building. Mr. Hand is like, well, he doesn't think that the homes on Gallatin, for example, those are 700 square foot homes on that street, for example. So if you knock out one side, if that's even possible, I don't know. But if you knock out one side, he just doesn't think that the incentive is there for developers to go through that trouble. You all disagree. You can disagree and make a to all I'm saying is it is silly on the one hand to keep complaining and then also saying you're not going to do the thing that gets to say anything to the decision makers. Shayla's not the decision maker. You need to write to the Office of Planning. Tell the ANC to write to Office of Planning. It literally is not that hard. They're not expecting a master's treatise. They're expecting a resolution, a letter that lays out your concerns.
And I'm saying we need to get the community, more people in the community to lay out the concerns.
Okay, so then go make copies at the
But
library and give them to your neighbors. I mean, like, I don't understand. People can help. People can help Shayla. People can help the ANC. People can make free copies at the library. Print out my blog posts if you want to, and give them to your neighbors. Like, I, clearly the ANC is not really doing anything. So if people want the ANC to do something, then maybe you need to help them out here.
Thanks,
understood.
Michelle. All right. Anything else? So come to the meeting Wednesday. What is that, the 27th? But in the meantime, yes, send us or send to Office of Planning your concerns. Um, okay, Wednesday, May 27th is the ANC 5A meeting. Okay, so thank you very much. Thank you everyone for participating. Anything else? Okay, I'm gonna adjourn. Thank you. Have a great night.